Welcome everybody to the live magic Q&A. Oh my gosh, it's my live magic Q&A tea party. I've got my tea here with Madame Pamita that meets up every Sunday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 7 p.m. Central, and 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We record this as a free live Zoom webinar, and we do it every Sunday except for the first Sunday when I hold a workshop, a paid workshop. But every other Sunday of the month, we are here and it's free. It doesn't cost anything. And then we post those recordings up on YouTube later. So if you're watching this on YouTube and you want to join us live on Sundays and ask your questions about spirituality, divination, magic, law of attraction. I mean, we cover it all here.
Mhm.
Then you'll want to get into what we call the spell squad. I call this the clubhouse for the spell squad. Spell squad is just the name that I give everyone who wants to join us here and learn about magic, learn about spirituality, and learn about all these good things. So if you want to join the spell squad, you just go to spellsquad.com. You sign up and you'll get on my email list, and then I'll send you an email that will have the link to the recording, and you'll also get a weekly announcement about who's going to be on the show. And so you'll have that to remind you to jump on in so that you'll be here with us live, and then you can ask us your questions about all these good things. In case you're wondering who I am, and maybe you stumbled upon this on YouTube, I'm Madame Pamita, and you can find me over at Parlor of Wonders. I have a little shop called the Parlor of Wonders, and I sell candles and oils and herbs and magical items, spell kits, and so on. I also am an author. I have a book, a brand new book out called The Book of Candle Magic. And this is my new book, which I'm very, very excited about. It is now available everywhere. So for a while, for 2 months, it was only available at bookstores and my shop and mom and pop bookstores. And then Amazon finally got their, you know what, together and got
Mhm.
it. Something happened. I think I'm a really good spellcaster, Pamela, because I said at the beginning, when the pandemic happened, I started promoting the book, right? And I said,
Mhm.
hey, you guys, I know it's easy to buy it from Amazon, but I want you to make the little extra effort and call up or email your mom and pop bookstores and order it from
Mhm.
them to
Mhm.
support those mom and pop bookstores. And guess
Yeah.
what happened? I'm a good manifester. For
Yes.
2 months, Amazon didn't have it, and you had to buy it from a mom and pop bookstore. So
Yeah. Yeah.
there
Well,
you
the broom
go.
closet has it here in Memphis. I can tell you, anybody that's in Memphis, the broom closet has it.
Oh, I love that. Thank you, Broom Closet. Thank you. And if you are a bookstore or you know someone that owns a bookstore or a metaphysical store, let them know that I will do classes for their clients at no charge. I'll do a little introductory candle magic
Yeah.
class so that you can have your bookstore, your local bookstore could have me, because I can't do signings or book signings or things like that. So if you have a good relationship with your local metaphysical store, let them know to reach out to me, and I'll do something for free. If they sell the book, they'll promote the book. I'll come and do a free class over Zoom for their people, and it'll be a win-win for everybody. I'll get to teach
Awesome.
some candle magic, some beginning candle
Yeah.
magic to people. So let people know about that, because those bookstores, I really love my bookstores and I love my metaphysical stores, and I want to support them. And so I am
Love it.
telling people to go to those places, and I'm any bookstore that asks me to do a thing for them, I'll do a thing for them,
Love
whether
it.
it's an introduction or talk about, something, candle related to the book.
Mhm.
People can
Mhm.
buy the book and get a free class and support those bookstores at
Fun.
the same time. Anyway, if you want to, so I'm an author. I've got my website up, parlorofwonders.com. You can also find me on Instagram, YouTube, all the places. There's one little thing that I got coming up that I want to promote. Now, some of you know that I do this. I talk about it a little bit on here, but not too much. I do a monthly new moon spell service. So every month I only do, like, people ask, do you do spells? I used to do spells like vigil. We do vigil candles at the Parlor of Wonders. I
Mhm.
create the vigil candles, but Lady Luria is the one that tends to the vigil candles. And there's only one spell service that I'm doing for people right now, and that's the new moon spell service. Now,
Mm.
all in 2020, I was taking 13, only had 13 spaces, and each month I was doing this candle service for people, but it's a little pricey. And what I wanted to do was make it so that everyone could take advantage of the beautiful astrology of the new moon. So what you may not know, or you may know, is that when the new moon, every new moon, the sun and the moon are in the same sign. So if we want to pull in that energy of the sun and the moon, which are very powerful planets to be working with astrologically, if you like to work doing your intentions and working with the sun and the moon. The new moon, which is coming up tomorrow, is a very, very powerful time. So our new moon in Sagittarius is coming up tomorrow. And so this is a time where we want to, explore and open up things. And so, for example, this month, tomorrow, I'll be doing a spell work for 13 people who have already signed up, that is opening up their treasure, right? Opening up multiple treasures and multiple streams, which is very Sagittarian, right? Having lots of different things
Mhm.
going on. But for 2021, we've got a new thing happening, which is we have small, medium, and large now, not just one option. So we still have the option of the spell service, but we're also bringing in a new moon spell kit, a limited edition, only available for 1 week out of the year. Can you order it? The whole year, we're only going to make this spell kit available. You can buy it for 1 week, and that week is going to be starting on December 23rd through December 29th. You can buy the spell kit for the January new moon, which is Capricorn new moon, and it's a golden pyramid candle. It's a deluxe spell kit. It comes with support candles. It comes with the golden beeswax pyramid candle, gold glass glitter, herbs, oils, everything you need, and instructions. And we're going to be selling that from only December 23rd through December 29th. Or you can order it, the spell kit, and a live workshop with me. That's a Zoom workshop 2 days before the new moon, where you can get together with me and we're going to put those candles together and get them ready for the new moon. And I'll answer all your questions about spell candles and putting that spell together and how do you do this and how do you do that. So if you're one of those people that's like, I want to do a spell, I want to light a candle for something, but I don't feel like I know what I need to do and I want to learn more, this is your opportunity. Every month, we're going to be doing a different spell every month. So if you want to get in on the January one, it's unlimited in terms of number, but you're limited in terms of time. You could only buy it during that 1 week. So it's December 23rd through 29th. Now, if you want to remind yourself, you can go onto my website, go into services or workshop, either one, but go over to services, go to New Moon Spell Service, and you'll see, click through, and you'll get through to the January one. Find if you want the spell kit or the spell service or the kit and the workshop. Pull down that one that you want. It will say sold out, but it will let you put your email in, and then you'll get a notification at 12 noon Pacific time on December 23rd so that you can go and get it and make sure that you get that and you don't miss out. I always tell people about these things, and inevitably there's always someone that said, I missed it. I'm like, I don't want you to miss it. So I'm going to keep telling you about it. All right. So I've got it up on my Instagram. I'm telling you here. So I've sent out an email about it. So I want you guys to know that it's only 1 week that you can buy this. So if you miss it, you miss it. You don't have to use it at the new moon. You might want to buy it and use it at some other time. That's fine too. But it's really designed for that Capricorn new moon, which is about building success, building your abundance, building your success in whatever area you want, whether it's love, relationship, family, business, career, whatever. This is the time to do it. And that January new moon is perfect for that. So that's my big announcement. That's what I'm very excited about. That's in 10 days, you guys. And I'm very, very excited about this new expansion of the new moon spell services that we're doing. So anyway, let me tell you a little bit about my amazing guest this week. Oh my gosh. Pamela Williams I have been following her, watching her, been her Instagram follower. Can I just say I was one of the original people following you? I don't know. If I was or I wasn't, but I've been following you for years now. I mean, it probably as long as I've been
Wow.
on Instagram, I think I've been following you for that long. So it's been a few years now that I've been following you. And I just love and adore her. She always has beautiful, positive, extremely expansive, and very, very accurate information that she offers and shares so very generously and so freely on her site. And it's just a beautiful, uplifting feed. So, um, first of all, I'll say if you want to follow her on Instagram, uh, you look for her as Pamela Williams. So the letter Pamela Williams, and that's how you can find her. And you can follow her too and get all of that amazing feed that she gets. I mean, you're really active on Instagram. I'm a little bit medium active on Instagram, but you're really active on Instagram and you have amazing stuff on there.
Mhm.
Pamela is that kid. I'm going to sort of read off her bio a little bit. That kid that the elders called an old soul. You are truly an old soul for sure. She's the confidant, the healer, the mother, the advisor to family, friends, even strangers are coming up to her. You're one of, you know what? It's because you're an empath. They
Yeah.
find you, right? The strangers find you. After she survived stage 2 breast cancer in 2009, it opened up her spiritual gateways. Her spiritual gateways were thrown wide open. And with that, her gifts of claircognizance and clairaudience. So claircognizance is knowing, clairaudience is getting verbal messages in your mind's ear, I like to call it.
Mhm.
Pam is able to help you understand and address your spiritual needs. She really is of so much love, healing, and service. Her mission is to give you spiritual insight and to help you discover the real you and where you are on your path. A big question that people ask a lot of the time, for sure, is like, what's my purpose in life, right? And that's one of the things that she will deal with. With many ways of discerning and divining spirit, Pam will get you the answers that you seek by consulting with your spirit team, your guardian angels, and your ancestors that will enable you to go within, to heal, and to grow. Her website is pamelawilliams.me, pamelawilliams.me. So Pamela Williams is Instagram. PamelaWilliams.me is her website. Okay. Well, let's welcome her. Welcome, Pamela. I'm so happy to have you here.
Thank
Pamela
you.
Club in session.
Yes, yes, the Pamelas. Thank you all for coming and thank you for having me. You say you've been following me. I've been following you for years. I mean, literally, I have to tell everyone my very first candle spell was at the guidance, unbeknownst to Pamita, by her.
Oh,
I was ready to leave the job that I was at, and I was angry. And so I've always been that one that knew that before I could make a step forward, I had to deal with the inner stuff. And so I had to forgive. I had to forgive those people that were at my job because I wasn't being elevated to the position I knew that I deserved. And so I kind of pulled down the anger and started in forgiveness. And someone said, "Why don't you, burn a candle?" And so I'm thinking, okay, I don't know how to do that. So I started Googling, and Google didn't find me anything. So I went on YouTube and I did a search how to do a candle spell. And I don't remember if those were the exact searches, but a couple of people came up, but I was so drawn to you. And I was like, okay. So I got off of YouTube and said, okay, I'm not going to do it. I didn't buy the candle. And probably maybe a month later, I decided, okay, I'm going to buy this candle. So I went and bought a St. Jude candle, had no clue how to burn this candle. And so again, I went back to YouTube. You popped up the very first thing. And I started following the instructions on how to burn a candle and how to manifest. And I will tell you that I burned that candle in August. That was August of 2013. And I burned that candle in August of 2013. By December, I had 2 job interviews. And by January, I had 2 job offers.
wow. Wow.
So I had my pick of what I wanted. And so I credit really 3 people with where I am today. That was a young lady by the name of Rhonda Manning in 2010. I went through cancer in 2009. And in 2010, when I had got through chemo, went through the surgeries, the mastectomies, and all of that, this young lady popped up in my feed again, Googling, and I decided to get a reading. And she said, "Why aren't you using your gifts?" I was like, "What gifts?" And of course, growing up a church kid, because I'm a preacher's kid, you were always taught that there were certain things that were of the devil. And so I didn't really pay attention to a lot of things that I would hear. And sometimes I would always say, if I heard it, I'm like, I'm not crazy, I'm not crazy. And so I had to really deal with that. But she was the first person that talked to me about my gifts. And then another young lady, Brandon McCarley, was the one who suggested that I get a candle. And then I found you. So you 3 ladies were instrumental in me going into where I am now. When I went through cancer, it was like I actually said a prayer and said, there has to be more. Open my eyes, open my ears. And I kept
And
saying, what am I missing?
they did open your eyes did open and your ears did
Right.
open.
Right. I was like, what am I missing? What am I missing? And it was like all of a sudden these different downloads started coming, and I didn't know I was having these. I always was I was a vivid dreamer as a kid, and so the dreams, the things that I didn't know I knew, the clairaudient just went. Well, the claircognizant just went. That was crazy for me. So, just being able to know and sit here with you and know that you were so formidable in my path and growing
Mm.
how I manifested the house I'm in. That came from, again, one of your candles, your house candle, as well as just sitting there and saying, okay, how do I utilize this candle? What can I do? And so going back to YouTube. And so I began to craft my practice around, okay, how do I, and then I started working with my ancestors. And I come from a line of conjurers. I come from a line of witches and women who, on my mother's side, do what I do. They're root workers. And so, yeah, yeah, you have been there really almost the entire time of my journey.
Oh my gosh. Well, you know what's really interesting? Uh, Many people say that have gone on that cancer journey,
Mhm.
they say, "I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy, but
Mhm.
it was the best thing that ever happened to me."
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Cancer, and this is the thing I've learned about going on this path, is that trauma often will wake you up to a lot of things. Now, some people decide that they're going to go toward a different, it may be religion, it may be Christianity, it may be Buddhism, whatever, but trauma most always wakes you up.
Yeah.
It's like that it's not even a light bulb. It's literally that tornado that comes through and sweeps everything off the table and said, okay, hey, this is you. This is who you are. Everything off the table. This is surface. So when I lost my hair, I lost my eyebrows, everything, and even to this scar that I have here, it took me years to even bear that scar because of going through what I did, but it is who I am. And so at my core, I am a spiritualist, I'm a healer. I am a person who loves candles and loves the stars. So when I talk to people, I tell them about that, but I start with healing first.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. I love, well, before we get, I'm going to talk a little bit more. You guys can put your questions in the chat, but also you're going to be doing a pendulum reading at the end. And the way we put people into the raffle for the pendulum reading or reading at the end is by them putting their favorite emoji or the word of that emoji, your favorite emoji, so not their favorite
Mhm.
emoji.
Mhm.
Pamela, what's your favorite emoji?
Oh, I have two, but one that I use often is the crystal ball.
Do you
I
want
use
him to do the
that.
crystal ball for the entry? Do you want him to use that?
Oh, sure, sure.
Okay, all right. So if you want to be in the running for a pendulum reading at the end of our session, either put the word crystal ball if you're on a computer or if you're on your phone, um, put the crystal ball emoji. Both of those are going to be entries, and then we'll have Pamela pick a number at the end, and I'll pull that person, and we'll have a pendulum reading. You're
Yeah,
also going to be doing a special
yeah,
for the people here at the Spell Squad here.
yeah.
What's that about?
Well, one of my services is that I am a Reiki master, and I also specialize in distance Reiki. So with that, I am offering 20% off of my Reiki service. It's normally 127, and so 20% off of that. And what we can do is starting tomorrow, we'll put that in the cart so that anyone who wants to take advantage of that, they can book a session and put Spell Squad in the cart, and you'll be able to get that at a 20% discount.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's such a generous offer. So if you want to get a beautiful Reiki session, which can be done for healing,
Mhm.
clearing, cleansing, can be done for physical stuff as well as like emotional stuff. I mean, Reiki
Yeah.
is such a beautiful practice.
Mm.
So then you just go to PamelaWilliams.me and use the coupon code Spell Squad, all one word, and they can get 20% off. That is so lovely. Thank you
Yep.
so
And
much.
we'll start that tomorrow. So I'm going to get my brand strategist to cue that into the coupon code and everything.
Great, great. That's wonderful. So, what are the things that you offer on your site? You offer Reiki. What else are you doing over
Yes.
there?
I offer Reiki. I also have my pendulum readings. I have oracle readings as well. One of the services that I have not introduced yet to the masses, and that's my spiritual cleansing and blessing of homes and businesses. And so that will be coming soon. I have been doing it under the radar for friends and for people who have asked. I have done it actually remotely as well with good results, which was that's an interesting story. I'm sure that my client wouldn't mind me telling the story, but let's just say we removed an entity, and that was unexpected, but at the same time, it was very needed. She had been having some things to happen that I knew because it was beginning to be dangerous. And anytime you're dealing with a malevolent energy or entity, you're entering into that danger zone. That negative entity or negative energy is going to cause strife, it's going to cause arguments, it's going to cause discord. But that malevolent entity is going to cause danger. And this particular person was having things happen, garage door falling, a knife, and I'm maybe pronouncing the wrong knife, but it's one of those expensive knives, Cephalon, I think it's called, but it just broke in the middle of a knife. It's a very expensive knife. She almost cut her finger. And
Wow.
also the globe on her ceiling fan just fell on her friends. So she was hearing things in the house, all of that. So I did that remotely and cleansed her house. And so that's one of the things that I also specialize in. I tend to love doing it in person though, because I'm in there closing those portals. So that's one of my favorite things to do. But yeah, those are the things that I have that I offer right now, and we're beginning into some other things as these my spirit team allows.
Oh, I love that. I love that. You're in the Memphis area. So people in the
Yeah,
Memphis area could have one in person,
yeah,
but you could also do it remotely, which is if you can do distance Reiki. I think all of these things, especially when we're working with energies, they're
mhm,
really not bound by space. You
right.
know what I mean? Like we can do those things at a distance.
Mhm,
Sometimes people ask me, is the reading better if the person's in person? And I say there's really no difference whether we're doing it over Zoom, phone, or even email,
right.
because we can do it however, and it always comes up with the same kind of reading that we're getting, whether the person's there. So I don't need to have the person physically there
Mhm,
to be able to do a reading. So I think, and the same thing is true of Reiki. We know that's true of Reiki, and
mhm,
of course, so anything else we do energetically, you probably transfer all your beautiful distance Reiki skills over into that. And so I
yes.
can see how that. I even have a colleague, Dr. Amanda Cohen, who does distance acupuncture. So she's starting
Wow.
to do distance acupuncture, which is
Mhm,
like combining Reiki and acupuncture, which is amazing.
mhm. I love that.
So yeah, so let's get to some questions, and we'll see what people are wanting to know. So let's see. All right. Um, People are saying hello, hello, everybody. It's so sweet.
Hi.
Um, okay, let's see. Let's see what we got here. Um, okay. Oh, here's a great one. So Rose has a question. Hello, and thank you for this wonderful community space. How can I best contact my ancestors, learn from them, and ask for their comfort? That's a great question.
Wow, I love it. I love it. That is an excellent question, simply because what I have found is that a lot of people either have never venerated and honored their ancestors, or they just never knew that was possible, or they don't know how. One of the things is I do is I call them up. And so how I do that is you can have a bell. I like to light a white candle. And I have an ancestor altar that's on the in front of me in the next room, but I have an altar set up. And for the pictures that I don't have, I have just a frame parchment paper with names of the ancestors that I know. And then I write honorable ancestors on there. So that's going to encompass all of your ancestors. And what I do is I just say, honorable ancestors, I call you forth with harm to none to hear me. And then when I just feel a peace, then I say, I thank you for your presence and your energy. So light a white candle. If you have some incense that you like that. If you have a bell, even if you want to get a bell on your phone, a bell sound on your phone, because what you're doing is you're calling them forth. The white candle is basically lighting the way for them. And so you're doing all of that, and then you're making the place comfortable. Because when you tell them thank you for your presence and your energy, they feel like, okay, she wants me here.
Yeah. 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 They really just spirit guides, ancestors, and all of them really are there waiting around, twiddling their
Yeah.
thumbs, and they want to help you. They want
Hmm.
to be have a relationship with you.
Yes.
It's just like your grandma or your grandpa, they're sitting at home. Oh, it's so sad now. Everyone's so, isolated. I feel such compassion for that. But they're sitting at home. They just want a phone call from you. They just want you to hear from you, right? And
Yeah.
so the same thing with your ancestors, they're
Mhm.
there and they just want to hear from you. So don't feel like you have to say the exact right words or do the
Sure.
exact right thing. I love what you got: lighting a candle,
Mhm.
perfect; ringing a bell, perfect; and calling those ancestors of the well ancestors of the
Mhm.
highest vibration to
Mhm.
come forward.
Mhm.
Anytime I always say, like, whenever you're doing spirit guide work, it's almost like automatic. You
Right.
say you say bringing high vibration spirits or high level spirits, or whatever you want to call them.
Sure.
You don't want to be calling in any old spirit around. You just want to be
No.
calling those. And what's interesting is, just by saying that, that's gatekeeping. You're doing a
Yes.
gatekeeping, and
Yeah.
that's all you need. So some people are like, do I have to cast a circle? Do I have to do all this protection work? Do I have to
Um.
do all that? Not when you're calling for your spirit guide council, or not when you're calling for your well ancestors. You call them forward and you invite them in. And so you invite those ones of the highest vibration, and exactly what you did. That bell is also good for clearing the energy too of any negativity, so that you're inviting in those good ones. And it's calling them like you're calling somebody for dinner, like in the old days, right? You know what I mean? Like the bell, you know, calling somebody. Oh, you froze, or I froze. I have
Yeah.
something.
I. There it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
My internet. Comcast.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah. So it's ringing that bell is sometimes like ringing a dinner bell, like in the olden days. Come in, get your dinner,
Right.
You're
Right.
calling them in, or calling them, but
Yeah.
the school bell calling them in, right?
Yeah. And
From
and
the
they, like you said, they want to be able to help you. They want to assist you in whatever it is that you need. And a
yeah,
lot of times we just have not been taught that. I know I wasn't taught that.
yeah,
And I
yeah,
found that out through this path, and now it's that even this morning when I was giving them, them offering this morning, I said, hey, I need you to be here with me, and whatever you want to speak through me, I'm an open vessel, and just be here with me tonight when I'm with Madame Pamita. And as I was opening my board up and bringing everything forth, I was connected to my higher self, and I said, am I speaking with my higher self only? I got to know. And so I said, okay, am I speaking with my honorable ancestors? Got a yes. It's like, y'all remembered. So, yeah.
It's so great. I mean, they really are, like, the ancestors are just like, they love and adore us, and they just want to be there to help and support us and
Mhm.
assist us. And, so it's just a beautiful work. I've got, one of the things I will say about working with ancestors is, if at all possible, it's not always possible. You might live in a room that you rent from someone, and so
Mhm.
everything that you own is in your room. But I always like to put the ancestor altar in a place that you would invite your relatives: the
Yes.
kitchen, the living room, someplace where you would invite your family. So
Sure.
not so much the bedroom. I don't have an ancestor altar in the bedroom. I have it in there. I have a different altar, personal altar, in the bedroom.
Mhm.
But I
Mhm.
got an ancestor altar in the living room. I got one right next to the kitchen. I mean, I got them all over the house.
Right.
And you can put up things that represent, like, you can put up things that represent your ancestors. It might be something that they owned, or something
Mhm.
that was precious to them. It
Mhm.
might be cultural things that identify with
Yeah.
them. Like, I have a lot of Celtic fairy things and Ukrainian things, because I'm Celtic on my dad's side, and Ukrainian on my mom's side. So I have those
Mhm.
things up. So
Mhm.
those are kinds of things that you can start working with,
Yeah.
as you start connecting to your ancestors. That's a beautiful way. Just start a little altar, and you really don't need
Yeah.
much. Like
Right.
Pamela says, a candle. A candle is your altar right there. That's
Right.
the beginning.
Right.
You'll start putting things on there
Yeah.
once you put
Yeah.
that candle on.
And I will tell you honestly, when I don't get a chance to light my candle on my ancestor altar, I'm calling them on my car and on the way to work in the car.
Yeah.
And literally, I'm just, just talking to them because that's what they want. They're getting energy from you being able to say, hey, I want you as a part of my life.
Yeah, yeah. And acknowledgement. It's just like I said, it's like grandma just wants a phone call. You just got to
Mm.
give her, just she wants to talk to you. You don't have to buy her things or go, just
Right.
a simple phone call can brighten up someone's day. And so this is your way of calling them is when you're
Absolutely.
talking to them.
Yep.
One of the things I like to do too, everybody has a kind of different ancestor practice. So there's no one size fits all, and there's no like candle magic. People say, "What's the right way to do it?" I'm like, "Well, there's lots of right ways to do it." So same thing with ancestor work. But one of the things that my ancestors have said is they like to share a meal with me.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I do is, I mean, there's lots of ways you can do that. A dumb supper where you can set
Yeah.
a place and serve food and have it there for the ancestors, like an extra place setting
Mm-hmm.
that you might do on a special holiday, Christmas or something like that, New Year's or something, you might do that. But one of the things that I do is I leave an offering of fruit.
Mm-hmm.
And so you want that fruit to be nice and fresh and
Yeah.
vibrant and juicy and let them have the first go at it. So I'll
Mm-hmm.
put my grandmother loved oranges. So I'll put an orange
Mm.
out, and then the next day, I'll take that yesterday's orange and I'll put a new orange out, and I'll take yesterday's orange and I'll eat it with her and I'll talk with her.
Yeah.
So that's the way I was guided to do it. It's not, some people say you never touch that spirit food. The spirit food is only for the spirit,
Mm.
but my ancestor spirit guide said, we want to eat with you, because
Right.
food is really big in my Ukrainian culture. It's really
Yeah.
big. They like you to eat.
Right, right. Yeah, they want you, they want to feed you. And that's the same way with me. I do an energy ritual for my ancestors quarterly, but they have fresh fruit and nuts, and my son gives them candy. So
Yeah.
they have that on the altar. I also have, they ask for cigarettes. My Native American family asked for cigarettes, and they asked for tobacco. So I have a pipe, tobacco. My grandmother, she has a big candy cane that she loved peppermint when she was living.
Aw.
And so I have that. And my aunt, she has Bud Light. Bud Light is on the table. So I refresh that. They have fresh flowers. And so they have a whole room that is their own. I've even done special paintings for them that I dedicated and blessed for them because they have just done so much for me. So much.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think about it's like it's interesting because this is that season too, really the time as we go, as the sun is getting smaller and smaller, it's really the season of reflecting back on the past and looking at ancestor work. And that's why we have
Yeah.
Halloween, All Souls Day, All Saints Day, Dia de los
Mm.
Muertos, Samhain, all these holidays that are about connecting with the ancestors when the veil is the thinnest.
Hmm.
Is it is that time when we think about that. And I think about um, all the struggles that our ancestors went through to get us here. First
Yeah.
of all, think about that team that you have.
Mm.
Each generation is four times four
Mhm.
times four times four times
Yeah.
four people who are there that got you, that came down to you,
Hmm.
right? So you've got tens of thousands of ancestors going back who are all there
Yeah.
supporting you, rooting
Yeah.
for you, want you to succeed. And
Yeah.
you think about the challenges,
Hmm.
the intense challenges that they overcame
Mm.
to get
Right.
you here.
Right. Right. Oh my. Yeah. That is something because I did a reading with a client, and I it was so funny because I said, "Do you want to know how many of your ancestors are here?" And he was like, "Sure." And so we went because this board, of course, I have it set up where I can get numbers, and we went into the millions.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
had to tell him, I said, now I want you to think energy, not bodies. Because if we're thinking 36 million of your ancestors here, we're not talking about physical bodies. We're talking about spirit and we're talking about energy.
Yeah.
But they are in, like you said, they are the tens of thousands of millions because there are so many generations of us, and the generations have endured great trauma. That's one of the things that I talk about all the time is healing that trauma in your generational line,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
there are some ancestors that can't really serve you because of that healing that needs to take place. And that's what I did even for my own biological father. When I decided, okay, you know what, I need to heal that because I never knew him as a kid. And he had a whole separate family, but I knew that I needed to forgive. And when I decided one day, it's like, you know what, I'm going to do this. And I sat there at the ancestor altar and I called him forth and basically talked to him and said, I forgive you. And we worked on that relationship and just now getting to the point where he feels that he can come forward simply because he hadn't forgiven himself. And that brought me to tears. That brought
Yeah.
me to tears because
Yeah.
he hadn't forgiven himself for what he did in his living life. And so I had to tell him, you got to forgive yourself. You've
Yeah.
got to do that. So that has to take place. Your ancestors are struggling with some things, even on that side, for the ones who have not gotten that healing. And so we're instrumental in doing that.
Yeah, it's such a beautiful, I mean, as you get into that I would call what you're doing very shamanic work. You might have another name that you give
Mhm.
it, but when you go back and you do that soul retrieval, that healing work and the healing of the ancestors, it
Mhm.
is really powerful work. And the science, we always think of like, well, there's spirituality over here and there's science over here.
Mhm. Mhm.
And those 2 are totally different things and they contradict one another and all that. No, we're finding more and more that
Yes.
they're meeting more and more. And
Yes.
one of the things that I had come across in the last few months is about how ancestral trauma
Mhm.
can last. Like there's a physical something that happens to someone when they have trauma. There's
Yes.
something physically that happens in the body. And that trauma can go down 7 generations.
Mhm. Mhm.
7 generations.
Yes.
That puts for me, that puts me back in the 1700s,
Mhm.
that,
Mhm. Yeah.
so we're looking at almost 200 years
Right.
of trauma that you're carrying because of your ancestors. So that healing
Mhm.
work that you're doing, that beautiful healing work that you're doing is maybe healing ancestral trauma. So when
Yes.
you're working with your ancestors, you can heal them, they can heal you, you can get healing work
Yes.
done and all of that. So you can, I mean, there's some great revelations that can be had by doing that ancestor work in a very deep way where you start to
Mhm.
go on visions and doing the
Mhm.
visioning work and stuff like that with them.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
beautiful. Oh my gosh, we can spend the whole time talking about that. I'm going to count. Well, I'm going to give you another question. And then,
Okay.
oh, it says, Leslie says, I'm a breast cancer survivor myself. Yes, it was a
Oh,
wake up. Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about, okay, I'm going to go through all the crystal balls. I'm going to count those. But,
Okay.
um, oh, maybe this is something that you might, this is not really the normal question that we ask, but
Mhm.
I'm going to give you two. And I'm going to let you pick which one and I'm going to count then the crystal balls.
Okay.
So Wa wants to know, do you have a sense of what's to come in 2021?
Mhm.
Or Patty Miller is asking, I've been seeing repeating numbers 333, 1111 for the past 3 days. What are the ancestors trying to tell me? All
Okay.
right. So now I'm going to count the crystal balls so that I can, while
So
you're doing that. So if I'm not looking at you, I'm not ignoring you.
I'm
Just doing that.
I'm gonna hit both of them really quick.
Okay.
I'm going to start with the last one first. The synchronicity that you're seeing in your angelic numbers. Yes, your team is trying to. Sometimes it's your ancestors, sometimes it's your spirit team. And what I always tell people is to check how they're feeling at that point. If you're feeling anxiety, then pay attention to that. If you're feeling euphoric or you're feeling happy, pay attention to that. I'll give you an example. I sat with my team. 1, 2, 3 pops up, has been popping up for the last 2 months. I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4. On the clock, I've seen it on license plate that my ancestor, my team was telling me, okay, adventure is coming. Adventure is coming. So it can mean different things. You can look up certain things, but and I try to tell people don't always worry about looking up because what 1111 means to one person may mean something totally different to someone else. We don't want to always get stuck in what it means for somebody else and somebody else's definition. So hopefully that works for you. As far as 2021, I will say this. Yes, 2020, we've had a rough year, but when it comes to COVID, I don't see COVID going anywhere anytime soon until probably the middle of the year, and it's going to kind of ebb and flow. But this is the thing with that. If I'm talking science versus spirituality, I don't do the versus thing. What I do is I merge the two. I will tell you this right now, use your protections, because a lot of people don't understand that when you're spiritually protecting yourself, you're also setting up physical protections. When I put my protection up, I ask my higher self to put up my protection shield, covering me mind, body, spirit, and soul. And the reason I'm telling you that is because between now and I would say probably June, the last of June, is when we're going to see the highest rates. And so, what we need to do is we need to be protecting ourselves. We need to do what science says to do.
Yeah.
Wear
Yeah,
your
for
mask,
sure.
wash your hands.
100%. I feel like, that you can also do some really great things like blending those two. Like I say, like when you're wearing your mask, you might want to put your mask through some incense or put a
Yeah,
little spiritual oil
yes,
on your mask or do
yes,
something like that,
definitely.
powerful protection
Hmm.
oil or use some
Right.
incense or something like that.
Hmm.
I think those things they can coincide and be helpful. But
Yes.
yes, wear a mask because, yeah, it might be you might be that young person that's healthy and nothing
Hmm.
happens to you, but what about someone else? And I think we have to think about
Right.
everyone else because it may not just be about you. You
Right.
may be like, whatever, but think about
Right.
someone else, and remember that we're all connected and then we're seeing that. Boy, are we seeing that with this going on in a
Yeah.
big way.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to have you pick a number between 1 and 24. And then I'm
Mm.
going to ask you one more question while I
Okay.
pull up that person because I got a really good
Okay.
question.
Let's see. Give me a number here. The second number. Okay. 15.
15. Okay, we'll see who 15 is. H had a question, and this is a great one. When when do you decide to speak with your spirit guides versus your ancestors, or are they the same to you? Good question.
That is a very good question. So let me give you the distinction between the two. Your spirit guide, or I like to say, my higher self, is going to see ahead of me. She's going to see the future. She's going to understand that, say, for instance, there's this project you're working on at work, or some your boss has asked you, hey, I need you to, be on this team. And I need you to pick the people that are going to be on the team. Well, there's Mark over there and there's Carrie. And you want to know, okay, is Mark a good person? Well, that's who you're going to ask. Now, your spirit team is going to, or your higher self is probably going to say, yeah, Mark is probably going to leave the job in 2 months, so you might not want to pick Mark to be on the team. So that's when you're asking your higher self, your spirit team, about things that are before you that you need to know. I like to say that your higher self is your foremost advisor. Your ancestors are your wisdom givers. They're the ones that are going to have their experiences, but just give you an example. You can't ask your ancestors about something with regard to technology because they don't have that experience. So these are things that you want to be mindful of. Your ancestors are going to give you that wisdom. No, you don't need to date Joe Bob because Joe Bob ain't no good. He got a wife on the side. Your ancestors are going to know that energy. Your higher self is going to know it too, but your ancestors are going to be like, I don't like her. You don't need to date her. So just know your ancestors are your wisdom givers. Your higher self or your spirit team, they see ahead of you. So
I
that's
love
how you
that.
know make a distinction.
Pamela, when are you going to write your book?
Wow. You know what? And my brand strategist has been on me to do an ebook, and I'm just trying to fix my brain because working at St. Jude, there's a lot of energy there, and then I come home and have a granddaughter. So I'm gonna have to just carve out time to do that.
Yeah, you've got a book in you. I tell you, you've got a book in you. And if you want to make a book, we
Yeah.
need to have a talk. You reach out
Okay.
to me when you're ready to
Yeah.
make your book.
Definitely. Definitely.
Um, okay, so we have our winner of our pendulum, the
Yeah.
pendulum contest. Ava Bartesco. So
Hey, Ava.
Ava, I'm gonna pull you up. Hold on your I'm gonna pull you up on the unmute you. Hold on, let me get to you. All right. Ava, are you there? Hi, Ava, are you listening? Hi.
Yes.
Oh,
Hi.
hi. Hi. Do you have a
Hi.
question that Pamela, you take it away. I'll just let you run the show
Okay.
here.
Well, Ava, first I'm going to show you my board. This is a board, as Madame Pamita told you, that I crafted. It's made out of basswood, a great conductor of energy. And so, what I like to tell people is that this board can give me a set of information. It will give me yes
Okay.
and no. It will give me maybe, I don't know, and rephrase. I tend not to do too many questions regarding relationships unless it's something that if it's something specifically pertaining to you. If I'm having to tap into someone else's energy, I tend not to want to do that because I want to get permission from them. I don't like to usurp their privacy.
Okay.
And so you'll go with that. But what's your question?
If my head's gonna improve soon.
If your head is going to
Health,
improve,
health. No, health.
health. Okay,
Yeah.
is your okay, and you're saying health, HELP,
Health.
Yes, yes.
health, health.
Health.
HEAL. Health.
Oh, health. Okay, okay. So let me connect to your higher self, Eva. Okay. We're going to connect to Eva's higher self. Okay. With all protection, we're going to connect to Eva's. Eva, pronounce your last name for me.
Barteczko.
Okay. We're going to connect to Eva Bartesco, higher self. Okay. Am I connected to Eva's higher self? Okay. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for your energy. Show me Eva's. Show me Eva's energy right now. Okay. Very low. Okay. Eva is wanting to know if her health will improve. Okay. Eva, are you doing what you're supposed to be doing?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Because I'm getting a maybe from your higher self.
Okay.
Let me dig a little deeper. Okay. Is there more that Eva can do or consult with someone? Okay. Okay. Is it consulting? Okay. So your higher self is giving me that there is more that can be done. Yes,
Okay.
you have the tendency for your health to get better. But I would
Okay.
say that there needs to be some more consulting with whatever's going on with you. Um,
Okay.
Not just with what you're doing, but there's more that can be done on the part of physicians or doctors, whoever you're seeing, there's more that can be done.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay. Um,
Okay.
does that answer your question? Do you need to go a little deeper?
How, yeah, I know that they need to do more, and if it's coming soon, if they're gonna change something.
Okay, okay. So you're aware that there's things need to change on their end then, is that the case?
Yes, yes,
Okay, okay.
yes.
That's what I was getting. Okay. Will there be any changes in the consulting, the physical or the medical consulting for Eva? Okay, Eva, I'm getting a no. You're gonna have to push that. You're either
Okay.
gonna have to push it with them or you're gonna have to find other physicians because what I'm getting in spirit is that they feel like they're doing what they have only they can do. And you know how
Okay.
you have to be your own best advocate is what I would tell you.
Yeah.
Be your own
Yeah.
best,
Okay.
best advocate. Push the envelope.
Okay.
Don't allow
Okay.
them to just give you a diagnosis and you feel like, okay, there's something else that needs to be done with this.
Yes, that's how I feel. Yeah.
Okay.
Can I
Okay.
can
Thank
I
you.
can I throw in something too?
Yeah, yeah, go
You
ahead.
mind?
Yeah.
talk about healing spells. This kind of reminds me about when we do healing spells. People have
Mhm.
a sense that when you do a healing spell, I light that candle and then I'm going to be better.
Right.
That's not generally, that spontaneous healing sometimes does happen, but it's very,
Mhm.
very rare.
Yeah.
What mostly happens with a healing spell is we light a candle and then spirit will lead us to that information that we need, or the
Mhm.
healers that we need, or the practitioners, or somebody, we meet somebody who has the same thing that we do and they give us a piece of information, or we find something on the internet, or we discover some modality, or we're led to some medication or herbs or whatever. So I think about, like, for Eva with this situation, if you lit a candle for a healing spell, just, you can, blue candles or lavender candles, what we generally use for healing spells. People
Mhm.
use pink candle, but you can always use a white candle as like a blank slate for anything. And if you did a spell to open up that healing for yourself, then you will be led by your guides to the right people, to the right information, to the right thing that's going to
Mhm.
resolve your issue. So, like, Pamela is saying that maybe these doctors are not the right people, or you need to push them, or you need a different team altogether.
Mhm.
Maybe doing some kind of a healing spell work will help open that up for you. Like, it will really
Mhm.
put that intention strongly, and you'll be led to that healing that you need.
I
You
agree.
Okay.
And Eve, I want to say this. I was trying to send your higher self back to you, and your higher self said no. And I asked, was there anything else that she wanted to say? And what I was getting in spirit is a type of spiritual bath. What you want to
Oh,
do is you want to, if you if you have rosemary, if you
mhm.
have rosemary is generally good. If you have some Epsom salt, what you want to do is you want to cleanse. If you have
Okay.
sea salt is even better. But if you want to cleanse and you want to kind of cleanse away that energy, and you want to
Okay.
open the roads for the right physicians to come to you, because
Okay.
what I'm feeling in spirit is that those are just not the right physicians.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Thank you.
you're
All right. Well,
so
I'm
Thank
going to
you.
send your higher self back to you. Okay. So hopefully she will
Okay.
get on that.
Thanks.
Okay. Thank you.
That was so sweet. That was so wonderful. Pamela, when you do your readings, I'm just mesmerized. It's just like you can just really feel that amazing energy of what you're doing. It's like it's so beautiful to see it and to watch it and to see it happening. You're so connected. I mean, you've got a huge channel up to spirit
So,
energy, and it's so evident when you do your
I
work. It's so
appreciate
lovely.
that. Yeah, I tell my clients all the time, I don't take connecting to your spirit team lightly. That is an honor for me. And for them to allow me to connect and to even give me any information on anyone, that is a privilege. And I don't take it lightly, and I don't want to misuse it ever. So I try to stay in that humble place. And I tell my higher self, okay, if ego is getting in the way, sit ego down. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, we could talk about that too. I always think, like, I've asked the guides, I ask them questions about things, personal things, of course, my stuff, but I also ask them bigger questions. And one of the questions I ask my guides is, why do we have ego? If ego is the thing that we need to get rid of,
Mhm.
like, we're always trying to get rid of it, push it aside, do all that. My guide said, babies and small children need an ego, because if
Yeah.
that baby
Mhm.
didn't cry, you wouldn't feed it, you wouldn't change its diaper, you wouldn't know to change its
Right.
diaper. So the baby needs the ego. Now the
Exactly.
problem is when we keep activating and working from a place of ego, and
Yes.
we're grown-ups.
Yes.
That's a big problem. That's a
Exactly.
big problem.
That's a huge problem. And we psychologically we need ego. We need ego. We need the id. We need the super ego. We need that. And again, we're talking science, but that's part of our personality makeup. And so ego is going to help us in a lot of ways, but also ego can hurt us. And so in my line of work, I can't get to that place where, oh yes, I'm tapped in the spirit. I know what I'm doing. I got a connection to the creator. No, absolutely not, because this is a privilege. And so I call my ego South Memphis because that's where I'm from.
Yeah.
So South Memphis gets a little indignant, and I have to tell my higher self, tell South Memphis to sit down. South Memphis have a seat. And then I also remove my influence, because a lot of times, even when I'm pulling cards, my influence, and my son tells me all the time I have ADD, and that's where he got it from. my energy will pop cards out all the time. So I use my pendulum with the cards to say, okay, is this the card for this message? And my higher self or the person's higher self say, yes, this is the card. If it's not, they're gonna like, no, girl, because your energy is just whoo. So I have to make sure I'm controlling ego and controlling my energy and influence. So
Oh my gosh, do you think ADD is something that spirit workers have? Because I mean, I've never been diagnosed, so I don't know, but I always think like,
yeah,
oh my gosh, it's like you can tap in. Well, I think that, if we look back at our ancestors, to be ADD and to be focused everywhere was a good thing.
right.
You'd find the berries over there, you'd hunt the animal, you'd do,
Yes,
you know what I mean? You'd see
yes,
the,
yeah,
you'd be in good shape if you could see everything all the time. So
right. Yeah,
so
but I really believe that because I believe that a lot of the quote unquote disabilities or disorders that the DSM has, they are gifts. They are spiritual gifts that have been diagnosed on the physical realm as something as quote unquote wrong with us. But in the spirit realm, it's like, okay, the reason why you got this ADD is because you're able to pay attention to that. You're able to see that fly over here and then catch that bird over there.
yeah, yeah.
Because those are the gifts that we have, but we have not been taught to use them in the proper way spiritually.
I know, I know. I think on that note, I think that there's something we can 100% know, that within
Mhm.
everything, when we're talking about your cancer diagnosis, we're talking about ADD, we're
Yeah.
talking about anything,
Yes.
there's always a gift in
Yes.
everything. And
Yes.
sometimes we're going through something horrible, something really, really horrible,
Right.
really hard, but
Yeah.
we can get to that gift. We
Yeah.
can get to that gift, and
Yeah.
that has been my work over this past like year and a half. It's like, okay, I'm dealing with something that's really upsetting,
Hmm.
making me angry, making me upset, making me sad, hurting me, or whatever. I go, where's the gift in that thing?
Yes. Yes.
Where's the gift in that thing?
The
And
gift and the lesson.
yeah, yeah. And there is a gift in everything if we're willing to dig through. Sometimes it's buried treasure, but you
Hmm.
can find that treasure.
Yeah.
And so yeah, so the same thing with anything that you're dealing with, disabilities, quote unquote
Hmm.
disabilities, it's
Yeah.
differently abled. I always think it's you're differently
Right.
abled. And
Right.
so and we are all individuals and we all have our own unique way of being, which is the beauty and the glory of our human experiences, that we get to be there is no other there is no other Pamela Williams, there is no other all of you that are here listening. You are the only one, and your gifts are bringing something beautiful to the world. And that is why you should always remind yourself when you don't feel, am I good enough, am I
Yeah.
this enough, am I that enough,
Yeah.
there's no comparison. It's
Right.
not you against another person. It's you bringing your gifts, because your gifts are unique.
Hmm.
Your gifts, there is no other person who could be a better Pamela Williams than Pamela Williams, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
100%. Oh
Exactly.
my gosh. Do you see how fast the hour
I
went,
know.
Pamela?
It's just like it's gone.
Tell
It's
you,
gone.
man, they
I
go
love it. I
fast.
love it.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you. I
Wow.
want to thank you. Okay, so let's remind everybody again, if they want that discount, you're giving a 20% discount on your services
Yes,
on Reiki.
Reiki and chakra balancing, and it's going to be 20% off of that. You can go to PamelaWilliams.me starting tomorrow and put in the coupon code Spell Squad. And if you want to book any other reading, they're up there as well. I am going to be posting more on Instagram about my other services, so stay tuned for that.
Yes, go follow her. If you're not following her already, go follow her on Instagram. She always has an up. I mean, I always love looking at Instagram and getting uplifted when I see nice, messages that are positive and like
Mhm.
enlightening and all of that. And so that's why I love following you. And so I encourage
Mhm.
you to find Pamela Williams, because you used to be Pamela E. Williams, but you changed it.
Right,
It's I
right.
Pamela Williams. So go ahead and find Pamela Williams on Instagram. Follow her there. You can go over to her site. Do you have an email list or anything like that that people can sign up for?
I am developing that now because I'm developing a newsletter.
Great.
So
Oh my
all of
gosh.
that's coming.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Well, for sure you're active. They can find you on Instagram, and if they need
Yeah.
to reach out to you, and get to you there too. Well, thank you so much for being a guest. It was
Thank
so wonderful
you.
having your bright
Oh,
light here. You shine so brightly, and it's just a
oh,
delight. And I will keep following you and liking all your things that you put. And
same.
we'll have to have you back on in a few months.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm waiting on my package to get here because your book is coming. And
Oh, I
yes, and
love
I'm like,
that. I
ah.
love that. Thank you so much. Yeah, you guys, if you haven't gotten it yet, get the Book of Candle Magic. This
Yes.
book, I have to say, has been getting universal, like crazy
Yeah.
universal amazing reviews. Like people are like going, oh my god,
Love it.
this book is teaching me everything. And oh, I'm experienced, but I've learned something. I'm a beginner.
Mhm.
This helped me. I think everybody is just loving the book, and that's what I
I
did it for,
love
is
it.
because I wanted that book to be out there in the world that didn't exist. And
Yeah.
that's
Well,
the
I
one that
consider you
tells
the
you.
foremost authority on candle magic. So hey.
Oh, thank you. Now, Pamela, you got to write your book,
Yes,
Connecting to the Spirit Guides and
I
Connecting to Your
will.
Ancestors. You got to
I
do it.
appreciate you. I definitely do that.
And you're gonna, and then you reach out to me, and I'm gonna like, I'll give you all my introductions to everyone. All right.
I appreciate that.
All right, you guys.
You.
So thank you so much, Spouse Squad, for being here next week. Oh my gosh, I always do this every week. Don't I do this every week, you guys? I forget who my next week guest is gonna be. Oh my gosh. I didn't forget, Pamela, when I taught class last week, and I
Uh-huh.
didn't forget that you were going to be my guest, but
Oh,
this week I didn't look up it was going to be next week, and I don't know. But let me tell you who it's going to be real quick. All
yeah.
right, let me get on my website, because that's where I'm going right now. You can always find it by going to my website, going to learn, and going to got questions. That'll take you over to Live Magic Tea Party. And then you can go over to the calendar and see who the guest is. Oops, except I didn't make it live. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm so disorganized. This is the ADD, right? Right here.
I get it. I get it. I had that moment today.
It's like, oh my gosh. But you guys are so generous and so loving, and you always give me a pass. All right, let's see who our guest is next week. I have to look it up on the back end because I didn't publish it. Oh, I have to get in and fix my website and get things fixed up. All right, who's our guest going to be next week? It's going to be a big surprise. Spin the roulette wheel. Let's see who it's going to be.
Mhm.
It's going to be drum roll, please. It's going to be, oh, it's going to be Professor Porterfield.
Oh,
You
nice.
know, Charles Porterfield, Professor
Yeah.
Porterfield, he's amazing. Oh my gosh. Well,
Yeah.
he's going to be my guest next week, Professor
I
Porterfield.
will be there.
That's a good
Yeah.
one. All right, you guys. So join me next week when Professor Porterfield and I will be here answering your questions. He is a hoot. Oh my gosh, he is so funny. He's the funniest. He is the funniest spiritual worker I know. And spiritual workers are pretty funny, but he is
Yeah.
like, he should be doing stand up. He is so funny.
Hmm.
So he'll be joining us next week with Professor Porterfield. Have a great week, everyone. And we'll see you next week. Happy holidays. Happy Hanukkah to everyone that's celebrating Hanukkah right now. And happy holidays coming up, Christmas, all the other holidays, New Year's, everything else, winter solstice, all that. Have a
Yep.
great holiday, and we'll see you next week. Bye, Pamela.
Bye.